AM Big X Sports Radio. I'm your host, Roman Kelly, joined today by my co-host here, Curtis Phillips, as we take you up right 6 o'clock. We're waiting for J.R. Anderson, our other co-host, to join up right now. But Curtis, how are you doing today? How was the long weekend, sir? Or how was your Tuesday night, sir, of course, and then the Monday night football bets?
Yeah, I had a great weekend. Got to cover some Louisville volleyball over the weekend. Spend some time with the family. Watch some, great games over the weekend. Have had a nice Tuesday. It was a up and down, Monday slate. It wasn't much to, bet on. The Monday night football game got a little bit crazy there, but overall good weekend.
Love to hear that. We'll be missing J.R. Anderson today. We do have his picks in, so we'll be getting into those. We'll discuss those, the two of us here today for JR, because he'll be out. But let's get right into it today, Curtis, because we've got a lot to discuss. I first want to chat about Monday Night Football before we talk about the other games on that weird Monday slate. It was an off Monday. There was going to be some of these going forward. There's going to be some Tuesdays like that going forward as well. Luckily, we've got some college basketball on tonight. But I want to discuss that game last night. We talked a bit about Eagles-Chargers yesterday. Chargers get the job done last night in overtime. Jalen Hurts throwing 4 of them things yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Quintuple things thrown from Mr. Hurts as he went into last night with the best touchdown to turnover interception ratio in the NFL at 19-2, and now he's sitting at 19-6. Philly, who were you on last night? What were your overall takeaways from that game?
Yeah, so I just had a little builder. I typically don't touch a lot of Eagles primetime games anymore. I've learned not to do those. So, but I was actually, if I was siding, I was going to side with the Eagles last night. I saw a lot of people on them. I thought they was going to bounce back after, my Bears beat them, but that was not the case. There was it was a crazy game. There were 6 turnovers in the first half. That's the first time that's happened, all season. So that ball was, just getting turned over, and it still happened to be a low-scoring game. So, which was crazy. Justin Herbert, man, I mean, with that broken hand, he's still balling out. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. Eagles, I don't know where you go from here. It seems like every time you give A.J. Brown the ball, you force feed him, like they typically lose. And then, he pouts when they win and he doesn't get the ball. So, Yeah, they got to figure out something there. But as far as the Chargers go, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with how they won that game. They got their star running back, so good things on their side.
Yeah, getting Hampton back was big for them, as you saw him getting that first touchdown of the game. But it's funny, the Eagles lose a game in which they didn't defend terribly. Like, it wasn't bad defensively for them. It was actually, I thought they had great pressures on Herbert. He was using his feet. He had the broken hand on the left hand. They know they were kind of trying to get at him a little bit. Ultimately, though, the pressures, it just wasn't enough. They allowed 5 field goals in this game, which I thought was kind of funny. You basically lost to a bunch of field goals. You prevented touchdowns, but ultimately, they just have not been clicking well enough in these back and forth kind of close games. Now finally getting another loss to their record in one of these, sitting at 8-5 on the season. 5 turnover game for Hurts, in which he had 2 in one play. Throws an interception. The person who catches it fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
Hurts picks the fumble up and immediately gets the ball stripped and fumbles that. So just all around bad game. Saquon got me the win in fantasy. He had a nice one. Glad to see him getting back right with the 122 yards, 1 touchdown, 20 carries. That's the kind of game Saquon needs to be having every week. He does not need to be less than 15 carries at any point in a game in any season. With the way he's been playing over the last couple of years, Justin Herbert getting the 66 yards as well. So ugly Monday Night Football game. Under hits on the hook, but. Philly, let's get into our punches from last night. I had Keenan Allen yards. I did not get the hit on that. I thought he was going up against Vic Fangio defenses. He's had covered the 40+ and had TDs in multiple different games against Vic Fangio defenses. This one just wasn't that kind of performance. There's a lot of short passes because that's all Herbert really had time for in this game. The longest reception, he did have a 60-yard, a couple long passes in this game, but 18-yard reception. The Kamani Vidal, though, that 60-yard long one, that one was the only really, really big play for Herbert. Keenan Allen not getting any of those. He did have 3 catches, 3 targets, brought down every target, but just only getting 22 yards, unfortunately. So we fall on our 1 punch from last night's game. How were you looking over your yesterday's picks, Curtis?
Yeah, as far as yesterday, I didn't drop any official punches. I know Friday did go 3-0. On our punches. We had Jaylen Brown, 30+ points. Jalen Tyson over 20.5 PR. And then TCU's first half. I know I threw a few jabs in there as well. But as far as official punches go, we did go 3-0, which was kind of good to get us back on track, for the week and our overall record.
Yeah, I had a pretty good Friday. We hit the Jake Reslap 40+ rushing yards. The Tulane quarterback, he had 33 at halftime covering that. Sengun got voided. We took the Sengun prop, but that voided. He ended up not playing Friday night. We hit the Khalil Ware 8+ rebounds on Friday. We hit the Jalen Johnson 20+ points on Friday. Yesterday, the only picks, we didn't give out many officials yesterday, but we did have the Monday Night Football picks. I'm not remembering what JR had last night with his officials. We'll try to see if he can get those sent in to him before everything gets up and over yesterday, but Jalen Hurts over 30.5 rushing yards. We didn't hit that yesterday. That was a jab we gave out, unfortunately. But it's all good. We're going to bounce back. We've got a Thursday night football matchup and a couple of good matchups this Sunday as well in the NFL where we should be able to make something happen, I think. We've got Falcons-Buccaneers. Not necessarily a good game, but it's a rivalry in-division game there. Then Sunday, Bills-Patriots. Ravens-Bengals in the last few years has always seemed to be a good matchup. We've got Chargers and Chiefs. Chargers already having beat the Chiefs once this season. Chiefs season kind of over at this point, but still a team that, 4.5-point favorites, still trying to fight for something there. Outside of that, not all too many good games now that the Colts don't have a quarterback. Broncos and Packers, that one Sunday late afternoon good game that we'll have. So we're going to get some picks out for the NFL season weekend slate earlier this week, and we can talk about those lines and the way they move. Curtis, we've got our triple punch piece sent in from JR. We're going to get into that next, but I want to talk about tonight's games. Are you looking into any college basketball tonight?
Yes, I am.
How are we feeling? We've got 2 top 25 matchup or 2 top games in which that'll feature a top. Well, actually, we've got a lot of top 25 teams in action. We've only got 1 top 25 matchup. I've got a couple ACC teams in action. We've got Florida and UConn in the Jimmy V Classic tonight at 9 p.m. We'll have BYU and Clemson in the game before that on ESPN at 6:30. Michigan in action tonight. Virginia in action tonight. I have a feeling you're on that Illinois-Ohio State game for some reason. But where are you taking us tonight in college basketball, Philly?
So I'll start off with the game that starts a little less than an hour from now in Michigan and Villanova. And I mean, to be honest, Michigan looks like possibly the best team in the nation right now. I don't think anybody wants to face up with the Wolverines at this moment. So, I got a team total. We're going Michigan team total over 83.5. They've cashed this 7 of the 8 games this year. I know Villanova's more of a built on defense, but like I said, Michigan, you don't want to face Michigan right now. They've already put up 100 plus points against both of the ranked teams that they played. Steamrolling over Auburn and Gonzaga. I don't think they'll have a problem getting 84 tonight. And that's funny you say the Illinois and Ohio State. I really that the line was kind of telling me like Ohio State's probably gonna cover this. You would think Illinois would be favored by a little bit more points. Ultimately, I stayed away. I may have a live bet in this game for that, but I ultimately I stayed away from that game. But that line is really telling me that Ohio State probably covers there. I know Illinois dropped their only true road game. I know they just beat Tennessee. That game was in Nashville, not Knoxville. So curious to see how they come out after that, big win Saturday. So.
Yeah, Ohio State, this is an interesting one because they have not lost a game at home, obviously. They haven't played anybody.
Exactly.
I mean, they lost to Pitt on the road. Something's telling me that the computers are probably favoring Ohio State more than they actually should, just because they've looked good in these games against lesser opponents. They did beat Northwestern on the road, a game in which they scored 86 points and only allowed 82 from Northwestern. Illinois is different, though. They are. They can defend. They beat Tennessee the other in their last matchup, 75-62. I mean, they handled Tennessee. And in November, they beat Texas Tech on their home floor, a Texas Tech team that's proven to be a top 25 team and probably going to stay there. They did lose to Alabama on their home floor, but that was a close game for pretty much all of it. And that's a really high-powered Alabama team. They lost to UConn 61-74, but I think UConn is probably one of the best teams in the nation right now. I think Illinois wins this game. I do think it's probably going to be close just because what we saw with Ohio State in their last 2 games, but losing to Pitt, Pitt's not any good. Their home floor advantage is kind of where I give them the edge to keep it close in this one, Philly, but I'm ultimately going to take Illinois to win this game. Straight up on the -175. I would not take that 3.5.
Yeah.
But I will go ahead and lean Illinois. I have 2 official punches for the night. I'm on UConn money line, and I'm on that BYU -5.5. I'm taking both favorites in the Jimmy V Classic, but I don't necessarily trust UConn to cover that 3.5 going up against Florida's bigs. I think Florida has the best set of big men in college basketball on one singular roster right now. They have been performing. They've been rebounding. They've been playmakers for their teams as well. A couple of these guys can shoot on top of that. So, I mean, the front court's really scary. However, the Florida backcourt is not. Xavier Lee has not been anything special. I think the UConn guards are going to give him a rough night, if I'm being honest. Give me UConn on the money line straight up tonight, and then give me BYU on the -5.5. This is a Clemson team that has looked good, a little bit better than expected. Close, narrow loss to Alabama in their last matchup. They did beat Georgia, which is kind of unexpected. They beat West Virginia as well. With that being said, they haven't really played anybody outside of those 2 games, that Georgia team and that Alabama team. They lost to Georgetown. They have played the lesser talent well, but they have not. They've been pretty close with the even talent. I think BYU offensively is just a different grade that they've seen, Philly, and I think the BYU is going to cover the 5.5 points. I mean, BYU, I'm not big believers on them, but I do think that they're good. I do think that offense should be very good.
Yeah,
that's my 2 official punches for tonight in college basketball. The NBA slate's weak, but we do have your Heat in action tonight. And this one's a weird one. This is an interesting game. I've been thinking about this one all day. Mm-hmm. You probably know that the Heat have played the Magic twice already, and you know the 2 outcomes in those games, I'm sure. Heat having already lost to Orlando twice this season. Some guys in and out of the rotations in those games, yes, but ultimately this has been a Heat team that offensively has been good all year long. So the fact that the Magic have been able to do that twice has it's interesting because I think that something about the way that the Magic defend is kind of not necessarily kryptonite for the Heat, but a good. They're like a weird matchup for each other. The Magic are good at slowing the Heat down and kind of forcing them into tougher shots because of the perimeter defense that the Magic have. With that being said, the Magic don't have the pace, the shooting to really match the pace that Miami plays with. What do you think in this one? No Franz Wagner tonight. If Tyler Hero plays, I'm on the Heat, Philly.
Yeah, I'm right with you. I ultimately, y'all know I don't bet too many spreads in the NBA, but I do lean towards us. Like you already said, that Magic team has already beat us twice this season. No Franz, which I think is really like that glue to that team for the Magic. Also, their pace is a lot faster when he's on the floor. So when he's not, they tend to try to slow it down. And Paulo he's still on a minute restriction,
He
so.
is.
That I think that's going to be big. We just played them last week, so I think we ultimately do get our revenge versus the Magic.
I like it. So we're going Heat tonight. I'm going to make that my NBA punch for this game. Heat money line, which is kind of a crazy official punch when I'm making that based upon a game time decision. So be it. If Hero plays, I'm going to wait there right up until game time. I'm going to, wait to bet it right till game time till we get that, but I will go ahead and make it an official punch with that connotation on Hero. I have not. Oh, looks like Hero's playing.
Oh, just in.
Looks like they've announced it. We've got, maybe it's just me late to the party here, but I'm now seeing that Tyler Hero is in the lineup for tonight.
Yep.
There it is. Give me the Heat money line straight up.
Let's do
1 point underdogs against the Magic. So we've got BYU -5.5 on my first official punch. We've got UConn money line after that, and then we're going Heat money line straight up as a team punch for tonight. And then I don't really have a player prop that I was loving all that much. I had a -200 prop that we were sitting at because I think that is going to be kind of a back and forth game with the New York Knicks and the Raptors tonight. What were your NBA punches?
Yeah, so I only had one, and it's in that Heat Magic game, and I'm taking Anthony Black over 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I know I'm going, with the opposition, but I mean, this guy's been balling. He's cashed this in 6 straight games when he's played 30-plus minutes. I'm expecting 30-plus minutes tonight. We've already mentioned no Franz Wagner, Paulo on a minutes restriction. He's already been playing around 30-plus, even with those guys in the lineup. So, yeah, I think Anthony Black can get, over 23.5, points, rebounds, and assists. Like we already mentioned, Heat, fast pace. This guy likes to defend. I think he can get a few steals, few buckets, off the fast break. So, yeah, that'll be my only official punch in the NBA.
I like that one. I'm going to go with the I was kind of feeling Scotty Barnes, but ultimately I'm going to go with the Brandon Ingram points. The Brandon Ingram 22.5 plus points as an alternate line. He's covered this in majority of his games this season. Haven't covered this against the Knicks already. Is sitting at 21.5 at the 22 plus is sitting at -150. 160. I'm sorry. Got my numbers mixed up here. Over 21.5 at -166 for Brandon Ingram tonight, going up against the Knicks. The OG Anunoby's just now getting back for the Knicks. He's been on a tear really all season long, if I'm being honest. He's covered this in majority of his games this season, like we mentioned. I think he's going to bounce back, though, in a game against the Knicks in which they didn't perform well earlier in the season. The Raptors didn't. So I like Ingram having gotten back to being that go-to scorer to cover that 22 points tonight as my other NBA prop. I want to get into JR's props as well, Philly, because we're not going to have him on the show today, and we have to get the triple punch out. You want to read JR's props for us, the ones that he was able to send to us? I don't have them pulled up here. Go ahead.
Let's do it. So JR is on Jaime Jaquez for the Miami Heat over 9.5 points. He got that at -140. And remember, this game starts in about approximately 12 minutes at 6 p.m. Eastern. So, and then he also has another play in that game, Tristan Da Silva over 9.5 points. at -104. I like both of those. And then he's going to go to that Knicks and Raptors game and take Mikal Bridges over 3.5 rebounds at -132. I like all those. I really like the Bridges if Cat. I'm not sure the news on Cat, but I know he was really questionable. So yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm not
we've
mad at
got
those.
he's 3 picks officially here from him. All player props, like we mentioned, 2 in the first game. Jaime Jaquez over 9.5 points. Tristan da Silva over 9.5 points. That's a -140 and a -104 on those, and then the Mikal Bridges at -132. I like all these from JR tonight, making use of the slate that we've got, and he also is making the Jaime Jaquez pick his triple punch parlay piece. So we've got JR's triple punch piece. We do the triple punch every day. We will. Lately, it's been every radio show day. We're going to try to continue to do it every day on to the weekend days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday for us. But let's get our triple punch pieces out, Curtis, because we've now got JR's piece. Let's go and complete it. We'll have Jaime Jaquez at over 9.5 on our first place on the parlay for tonight. What's your punch going to be on the parlay?
Yeah, give me OG Anunoby over 13.5 alternate points at -180. As we know, he spent most of his career at the Raptors. He's playing in Toronto tonight. He's had 14 plus points in all 4 games that he's played versus the Raptors. So give me OG Anunoby to get at least 14 plus points tonight.
I like that. I'm gonna go. I can't take the Knicks if I'm being honest. I don't want to. I think the Raptors keep this one close and bounce back here. So we'll go college basketball. Well, I want people to be able to use that boost. We've got multiple boosts in the NBA. If we keep all 3 props in the NBA, people will open up their boost for tonight. So we're gonna go Desmond Bane. Without a Franz Wagner playing in with Apollo Banchero on a minutes restriction, we're going to go Desmond Bane, 20-plus points for tonight. Odds sitting at -186 right now, just kind of gone down a bit. I like it. I mean, he hasn't covered this in a handful of games after having covered it in back-to-back games before going on the streak of having not. Didn't play last game against Miami. I think he plays tonight. I think he plays extremely well tonight because he got that game of rest. So give me the Desmond Bane. Or no, I'm sorry. I got that mixed up. He didn't play in.
He played versus the Knicks Sunday, I believe.
Yeah, he played Sunday Knicks. And they've got him. Yeah, -186 with no Franz tonight. Tyler Hero back, kind of opening up the even more so benefiting that pace of play for the Heat. Give me Desmond Bane because that's going to be kind of their only factor keeping them close if they want to be there in this game. So that's going to be the triple punch piece. Jaime Jaquez Jr. over 9.5 points. We've got OG Anunoby. What was that again, Curtis?
Over 13.5 points.
Alternate. OG 13 plus, or so 14 plus points.
14 plus, yep.
And then we've got Desmond Bane 20 plus points as well, with that being dropped down to +186. I think he gets back going tonight. That's going to be the triple punch piece. Go lock those in, the triple punch parlay. All right, let's see what the odds we get on this are as I go and get this built up for us here. Like we said, it's going to be Jaime Jaquez Jr. at 9.5, so that's going to be the 10-plus point mark. I mean, that's really low at -154. I love that line tonight for Jaime Jaquez. Even with Hero back, he's there, spark off the bench, getting back to his true 6-man role, so I like it. Then we're going to go add OG on there as well. How many points lower than that is the alternate line, Curtis? Because it can't be much more than where he's sitting at.
You talking about for Jaime?
No, for OG Anunoby, yes. What is it, a 15-point line that we're taking down to 14?
Yeah, it was 15.5, I believe, or maybe 14.5.
All right, so now with all 3 of these, OG Anunoby, Jaime Jaquez, and Desmond Bane, the 3 legs get you to +302. If you're on FanDuel right now, there is a 50% profit boost. There's also a 25% as well. So you can get a 50% on there, get that 3 legs sent up to +453 right now on the Triple Punch Parlay here on the Ticket Puncher Show. If you want to get that in with us, tail us on our parlay. We send it out every day. We'll also get that posted up on X later as well. So we've got JR's pieces out, or parlay piece out for our Triple Punch. Got the Triple Punch Parlay out. We've got JR's picks out, and we've also gotten our official punches as well. let's talk a little bit of college football to round out the show, because that's what we're going to do, as we'll have some the playoff picture now ahead of us. We're going to be discussing all of those games going forward. What did you think of Miami getting the nod over Notre Dame, Curtis? ACC helping Miami out there. Notre Dame a little bit butthurt about it.
Yeah, and I kind of understand how, they're being butthurt because, leading up to this week, the committee had Notre Dame in this conversation, the whole time. And I guess they feel like they kind of got backdoored. But, I guess the only solution for Notre Dame, get into a conference and, you won't have to worry about it. I think ultimately it came down to Miami beating Notre Dame at the beginning of the season. But, yeah, like I said, leading up to this week, the committee had Notre Dame over Miami. And then at the last second, Miami gets in, not even a conference championship berth. So it's a lot of, structure that needs to be done. Maybe possibly a 16 team going. We thought the 12 was going to help, going from 4 to 12. But maybe adding that 16, that could be the, the ultimate the deciding factor that we need in college football. But yeah, it was crazy.
I think they're being babies about it. Yeah. I think you lost to an ACC team. You didn't make it to where they didn't have an option, and that was all you had to do. You win 12. It's kind of hard to say go win 12 games, but go and be that top 12 team. You could say that. If you can make yourself a top 12 team and stay there, you should be able to be in that spot going forward. Now, I think with not being in a conference, this is what you asked for. You don't get that certainty now because you don't have that backing. You didn't go and compete in a conference championship. Go do that. Then you wouldn't even have to worry about it a little bit. You would have won the ACC this year, more likely than not. So I'm not mad at it at all. I also think that I'm glad it's Miami instead of like even a Virginia team. I don't think Virginia would have been a good representative for the ACC as all. Obviously Duke, no, not even a little bit, but I do think Miami had the best chance of going and getting a win. So for the ACC side of things, I'm glad it is Miami. Notre Dame, you guys can kick rocks. That's what I'll say about that. Philly, we pretty much covered everything we'll be getting into tonight as well. I had some soccer plays earlier today that I was presented in the Running with Roman show. We went 3-1 on those. Those aren't official punches or anything, but we hit the Atletico Madrid money line. We hit the Liverpool Inter Milan under. We hit the Barcelona Frankfurt under. We do not hit Chelsea money line as they lose 2-1 to Atalanta. But Philly, this is going to wrap us up. I'm excited to go see what these official punches look like for us tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for listening. Let's go punch those tickets and let's go hit this triple punch parlay.
Punch those tickets.
Punch those tickets. And Philly, I think you've got to get out of here. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here as well. So to our YouTube listeners, to our podcast listeners, to our X listeners, both on the Ticket Punchers X and the Real Spiel Big X YouTube pages, thank you all so much for listening in, tuning in today. We didn't get into the Game Day Mintel text line, unfortunately, but we didn't have any text in. None text in on the chat as well. So just like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy. And remember, if you guys ever have anything you want us to ask, just drop that in the chat and we'll get to it. Philly, something you wanted to add one before we went?
Yeah. I'm gonna drop in the official punch in the NHL real fast.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna try to come with some more NHL bets on the regular, but give me the Stars money line -134 versus the Winnipeg Jets. Connor Hellebuck, which is Jets starting goalie, he's been out for about 2 weeks now. The Jets are 3-7 straight up. Since he's been out. They're 0-6 versus winning teams straight up. Dallas Stars, they're 25-5, so very much so a winning team. The Stars are also 7-1 straight up last 8 games. Jets are only 2-7 their last 9 games. So I really like the Stars on the road to go beat the Jets at -134. That'll be another official punch for me as well.
I'm rocking with you, Philly. I love it. I love it. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Let's go punch those tickets.
Punch them.
Go Stars.